everyone, welcome back. I'm here with Brian once again, Team BC. We wanted to make this video because I wanted to share with you that I will be a featured speaker at the She's Unstoppable Live Women's Real Estate Conference, which is going to be held this April 9th and 10th in the DC metro area. This is definitely a conference especially for women, only for women actually, all women. It's being ran by women, for women in the business. Over 500 of them are going to be there, over 20 speakers. You definitely want to be there. I'm going to put the link in the description box where you can get more information to sign up.
Who are some other notable speakers that are going to be there? So it's you, the girl from $1 Million Listing, Tracy?
Yes, the keynote speaker is actually Dottie Herman, which is the CEO of Douglas Elliman. Wow, so that's a pretty big deal. Along with that, there's going to be other CEOs of big brokerages that are going to be speaking, along with social media experts on Pinterest, on Instagram, on YouTube. So there's just so much. You have to check out the website.
Yeah, we'll link it in the description.
So with that being said, I wanted to make this video specifically for you, the ladies that are in real estate. Obviously, you know that I have been working with Brian. We do a lot of the same things, but we get different results, obviously, because he is a male and I am a female. So we wanted to touch on just some of the differences of things that we encounter. So first, let's begin with door knocking.
You know, a lot of people, I would say, refuse to look at these things because they claim it's like, oh, you're not supposed to do that. Like, for example, a woman going out and accentuating her looks to get more attention, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's always going to be a factor. Whether people say, oh, that's right or that's wrong, it doesn't matter. It's still effective, right? Why do you think advertisers advertise in the way that they do? A lot of us know what they're doing, but it still works. So in the sense of like door knocking, this subject relates to stuff that we know people are going to respond to. For example, right? And this can't be denied. If she knocks on a door versus me, I don't care who it is, on a subconscious level, they see her as less of a threat than me, period. Just because she's a woman. Whether she's beautiful, ugly, or anything in between, it doesn't matter. She's a woman, she's smaller than me, she's less physically imposing, she's gonna pose less of a threat. So if we go out over and over, which we've done and experimented, and I knock versus just her, she's gonna get more responses, okay? Now the reason she brought that up is, it's kind of like an extra, we can say, push for the ladies out there to get out there and door knock. Now obviously you wanna take precaution. She always tells me where she's gonna be, how long she's gonna go for, what street she's gonna be on. She carries pepper spray, so some sort of protection, just so we know and we take the precautionary measures, or she'll go with somebody else like Valerie, Maria, or somebody else, right? So from that standpoint, you're gonna get a better response. People are typically gonna be a little bit nicer on average, right? Not to say that when a guy goes, everybody's a dick, but you'll get some better responses. Also, I would say, it's almost like less expected, because when we do see door knockers, most of them are men. The only time I ever see female door knockers is if it's like Jehovah's Witnesses or something religious. Even the Mormon, it's always two young guys, right? So that in itself will cause enough curiosity in somebody's mind to get them to open the door more. Is there any others that you've noticed since you've gone door knocking, or was that pretty much it?
Pretty much you touched on everything. Also the tone of our voice.
Absolutely.
When we speak to somebody, especially in person, they feel less threatened. Obviously the pitch of our voice is nicer, more pleasant, instead of a deep voice like you.
Yeah, why do you think most people get younger female secretaries, right? They sound bubblier on the phone and their voice is more pleasant on the ear. Same thing when they cold call, right? If we can talk about cold calling too.
Move on to that.
That's what she's referring to, is it's more accepted. They're less likely to hang up on her than they are with me, even if I have better skills in the beginning, because that first impression of my voice, like, I have a deeper voice, like, it is what it is. Compared to hers is a lot more pleasant to listen to, and someone's gonna want to talk to her voice more than my voice, especially when it comes to a subject like real estate, or something where we call an expired, or for sale by owner, and somebody who already might be on edge. It's just funny, because I've done a lot of tests, so we're not just saying this, I've literally done tests too, door knocking and calling, and the numbers speak for themselves, really. So it's just something that we want to bring to people's attention to let you know. And we're not here to argue if it's right or wrong. It's just, it is what it is, and it's facts. So let's use them to our advantage. And I've been saying this for a long time, especially to the women who are in my coaching programs and come to the events, is you do have a leg up, we can say, when it comes to some of these activities. So it's in your best interest to double down and do them more.
Exactly. And become very skilled at your objection handling, your communication skills. Because if you master that, you're going to be lethal over the phone and in person, and you're going to be able to handle any objection at a listing appointment or just that anyone throws your way. I feel that I'm at the point, and maybe you can even share from you training me all these years, I feel that I'm at the point, if I hear an objection, I know exactly what to say. Yeah. And that's exactly how you are. But you and me, you have trained me to become like you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so for all of you ladies out there, you have to take advantage of the fact that we are in this business, we are women. And if you become very skilled and you train to become the best, it's going to benefit you in the long run.
Yeah, you know, in the end, with all the factors that I just said, with everything else aside, if you have the same skill, you're going to do better than the man on average. Maybe not every time, but more often than not. If your skill level is at his level, with all those other factors we just mentioned, you have an advantage. So it's more of a reminder for you to really build your skills. Now, whether you're a man or a woman, skills are skills, right?
Yeah.
But as a woman, I feel like even with my material and the other materials that I see, it's more men more of the time focusing on the skills.
Yeah.
And it would be nice to see a few more women really buckling down and bettering their skills, because it's a rare thing to see, right? So like with her developing, I appreciate it a lot, and it's cool to see that because it's so rare in a sense. Yeah. I see a lot of men coming to me, and I see the men for the most part at the seminars dedicating themselves to the skills. It's much more rare to see a woman like, hey, I'm hungry, I want to be good at selling, you know what I mean? So I would say it's like a male dominated thing, which in a sense I can understand, because sales is more like a male type of thing. You're aggressive, but for you ladies out there, it's a hidden gem that if you can really take this stuff and master it, you, like she said, you just won't be lethal. You'll be very wealthy too, because it's just a skill set that very few women focus on, that if you got, you would literally be untouchable.
Yeah. And along with that comes confidence. So you're going to be able to perform at your best. Something that you just touched on right now that I'm glad that you brought up is the fact that I feel a lot of women feel that they shouldn't be pushy, or it's too bad if they try to close like 3 or 4 times, or because they are women they should lay back and not really go for the close or go after the lead.
Language has a lot to do with it. You're not being pushy.
Yeah.
Right? You're really not being pushy, because the way I've taught you is you're smooth. When has a client ever told you, oh, you're being pushy? Never.
No.
Right? Because we're doing it correctly. But it's more of knowing what to do based on what the situation calls for. Some people, when you're in a persuasion or influence situation, they're going to require that nudge. Not that you shove it down their throat, but you know, that you massage them into finally making the decision that's best for them. So it's really in their best interest that we're doing it for. But I just think, women kind of label that as like just like a masculine thing. And it's really not even, again, it's not being pushiness or overly aggressive. It's being confident in oneself and your ability to deliver to the customer what they want. And if my commitment is to the customer, and I understand every need that they have, I know exactly what they want, and now I realize that they're getting in their own way, and it's going to take maybe a few more tries for me to get them to say yes, then that's something definitely you should do, because again, it's for them. You benefit from it, of course, but it's for them. I mean, I've lost count of how many times a customer's come back to us and said, oh, thank you for hanging in there, or thank you for giving us that nudge, because we needed it and we were being indecisive. Because that's the last thing I can leave you guys with, is the average person, whether man or woman in society today, is indecisive. So it's going to require your skill set to really get them to see the light and then move forward and make a decision finally. You know?
Yeah, and for me specifically, I've never been told that I sound salesy or that I'm too pushy. And that comes down to me role playing and being so skilled with my delivery of my scripts to the point that they don't sound like scripts. Even when I role play with my role play partners, there's one specifically, I've been role playing with him since I got into the business, and he had been in the business for over 10 years. And he even tells me now, like, wow, you're like really smooth. I'm just that good, and everything flows like very smoothly. But the person on the other side, whether it's on the doors or on the phone, they don't know that I'm using a script, because I'm that good in the delivery of it. So when it comes to...
But that's years and years of dedication.
That didn't happen overnight. That's me role-playing every single day for years and years, and role-playing objection handlers, and also making hundreds of thousands of phone calls every single day, pretty much. So...
And it's not fun, per se. but the results and your
Yeah.
abilities and the skill set at the end, that's what makes it fun. And that's the way you need to look at it, because a lot of people look at, oh, it's boring.
Yeah.
In the moment, sure, but when you finally get to this side of the fence that you have the skill and you feel comfortable, totally worth it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it for this video. I hope that you, especially the ladies, you learned a few things of what you can start to do and incorporate. And just know that you have to take advantage of being a female in this business, because it's going to take you a long way if you dedicate yourself to practicing and mastering your scripts and your skills. So things like this is what we're going to talk about at the She's Unstoppable Live Women's Conference. So you definitely want to be there. Again, the link will be in the description box below. Follow me on Instagram, because here and there I do post different discount codes so that you guys can get a better price. So yeah, she'sunstoppablelive.com. The link will be in the description box. April 9th and 10th in the DC metro area, and I'll see you all there.